Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It's Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on Thursday morning, first day of August. Woo! Yay! Year's flying by, huh? I'm Joe Callahan. That's Sue Tessie McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times. Hi, Sue.
Good morning, all.
And Bob Lauder is here. Attorney Bob
Good
Lauder.
morning. Good to be with you.
Nice to have you here, Bob. And our first segment sponsor is the Blackstone Valley Call-in-Times. So, Sue.
Good morning,
First
all.
message, please.
As I've been saying over the past few weeks, we just recently ended the nomination process for the Community Choice Awards. You will be contacted within the next, give me a week, because there's quite a few people that I have to contact. If you were nominated, you may not have had enough nominations, because we're going by the top 5. So just so you know, if you have any questions, however, with regard to that, by all means, give me a call. You can call me at 487-4136. The office is open but closed.
That makes sense.
The doors will be locked, but we are all working. So if you need anything, again, call my cell phone, 487-4136.
All right, Sue. Very good. Well, Bob was not here last week, so we couldn't get his opinion last week, so we'll get it today. With the whole Joe Biden's dropping out of the race and the anointing of Kamala Harris as the prospective. How do they
I'm
put it?
not sure I go with
She's
the
the
word
nominee.
anointing. But
I was,
Great.
thank you.
I was going to come in on
I was
that.
going to say the same.
Yeah.
Well, she's the nominee, right?
But anointing.
Appeared, apparently.
Handpicked by Mr. Biden.
Anointing is not the word.
No,
Nope.
handpicked. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, handpicked. How do you okay? You liking the pick of Kamala being the
I think-
presumptive? There we go, presumptive nominee.
I think she is a very formidable candidate.
Okay.
And I think that her policies and her youth will be on her side.
59. Yep. Okay.
Well, yeah, when you're my age, that's youth. I mean,
She's just a kid, huh?
she's just a kid. They're still not taking the advice of us boomers who are around. But, yeah.
Well, you're old now, so.
I know. Speaking of old, however, I understand that you had the best vacation of your life when you were in a motel across the street from Santa's Village.
Oh, this was a few years ago.
Even so,
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine being in a motel across the street from Santa's Village?
There's actually two. There's one that's right across the street, and then there's one that's across the street and up the hill. And I was one that was up the hill. That's where the campground
Santa's
was.
Village is
In Jefferson, New Hampshire.
awesome.
It is awesome.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
Is it still awesome after you pass the age of about 11?
Yes.
I can show you pictures of a few years back with me. Yes, sir, it is.
And this is
Oh,
why.
I thought it was just for children.
No.
Oh no, well, there are just kid rides that are just
Right.
for kids, but mostly all the rides are for adults
Most,
too.
yeah, most.
Oh, rats. Then
yeah.
my stabbing you in the back isn't that good after all.
No, it's
No.
not.
Darn.
No.
Darn.
Now, and they also have a small water park area with the big waterfalls on you and things like that. They also have some water slides there. 2 years in a row, I went there with it was my wife and my daughter and me. 2 years in a row, we went there. On the day we went to Santa's Village, it rained, both days.
Oh, no.
Yep.
No, this is the greatest thing ever.
Oh?
Yes. You know why?
No.
No one goes.
All
We
right.
had the park almost literally to ourselves. And
Like,
we were,
they're still open.
they're still open. There's still one person working at every single ride, even though no one's on it, just in case. And we were going there to get wet anyway.
Okay.
So we went. So it's raining. So what? We're coming here to get wet. But most people think, oh no, gee, we can't go. We're going to get wet. Well, we were going there to
Yeah.
get wet anyway. So we stayed at the water park area. Then they have a flume ride. So we walked over there. We went on the flume ride. Still got wet. And what was great about the flume ride, there was no one in line. So every time we ended and we came around to the beginning again, they said, "You want to go
You're
again?"
right
Yes,
back
we
on.
do. We never got on the log,
Right?
and we went like I don't know 7 times in a row.
Wow.
Now, do they
Never got on the line.
still do
It was great.
the picture when you're coming down?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Because
You
that's
come down the
always
big
fun
slide.
to see what you looked
Yeah.
like at that moment.
And so yeah, we were soaking wet the whole day, but well, that's what we planned on doing. And towards the end of the day, we came back to the water park area, and there was one of the lifeguards who saw us and said, "You still here?"
Right?
Yes, we're having a great time.
Now you have the presence of mind going down the flume ride to smile and wave
Oh, I know where the
instead of
camera is
just
after
Yeah.
a while.
holding your hands over your eyes and screaming.
No, even as a kid, I never closed my eyes on rides like that.
Yeah.
Other people close their eyes or duck their heads like that. Oh no, head up, eyes wide open. I have to see what's coming.
Wow.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And
my
I thought
favorite
I could
place.
I could diss you by being at Santa's Village.
Oh,
and
no.
It all
Nope.
darn.
And one of the coolest things that happened when we were there is a ride there. I didn't go on this one because it is really for kids. They call it the Chimney Drop. You sit about 6 kids horizontally, and it looks like you're going up a chimney, and then it drops you.
Okay.
And then you go up a little higher, and it drops you. And it bounces, and then that's what it does. And so my daughter got on the ride. 2 other kids got on the ride that we didn't know. They weren't with us. And just before it started, you could I could hear coming down the aisle, coming down the road, a big booming voice that just said, "Hey, hold that ride." And we look
Okay.
over. Here comes Santa Claus.
Oh, my
wow.
God.
He went on the ride with the 3 kids.
Oh, neat.
I said, "And where's my camera?" In a locker,
Oh,
half a mile away. Couldn't get it. So he actually sat right next to my daughter and rode the ride with her. I said,
Fantastic.
This is so cool.
now let me tell you, even at my age, that would have been awesome, and I would have insisted on somebody taking a pic and then text it to me something.
Yeah, I didn't think of that because I think the parents of the 2 other kids were there. They might have had their phones out. I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but yeah, that was a really cool experience. That he was heading to his little house to meet with kids, but they were just about to start the ride, and there was hardly anybody in the park at this time because it was overcast and about to rain. And he got on the ride with the kids.
It is really refreshing to see 2 adults who
I
still
know,
have the
listen to
naivete
us.
of believing in Santa.
Hey,
Yes.
what are you talking about?
Oh.
We actually went to go see him, and when he was in his house, and he said to us, he goes, "You can sit on my lap too. I'm used to parents sitting here." I'm like, I'm kind of, I think I'm a little too big to sit on your lap. I mean, size wise. He goes, "No," he goes, I've had professional wrestlers sit on my lap here." So I put him to the test. I said, "Who?" I see if he gave me a real name, and he did. A pro wrestler named Mick Foley, who is much bigger than me. I said, "Oh, well then, okay. If you can handle Mick, you can handle me as well."
Now, did you ask him for any particular gifts and presents?
No, we didn't.
You passed
no,
up the
no.
opportunity, man?
Well, of course, he would have said no anyway. So.
Right. No, it's all about just
all about the
getting
toys.
to. Is it okay if I sit on your lap? Of
Yeah.
course it is.
And and one of the best things about trying to do a commercial for Santa's Village, one of the best things at Santa's Village, we did this at the end of the day. Some of the rain had tapered off by then, but the park was closing. They only opened like 9 to 5
Yeah,
or 9 to
it's-
6 or
it's
something
early,
like that.
yeah.
And but at like 5:45, we went and ordered a pizza at Santa's Village. And so when 6 o'clock came, we were leaving. It was ready, and so we took the pizza back to the motel with us. So there I am walking up that street, one pizza in hand, and
Right.
it was great. It tasted delicious.
They even make a ring.
Yes,
they give
they
it to
do.
you for free. It's
Like
supposed to reindeer
Yeah.
nail.
It's like a nail.
Hoof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nail. I still have one.
Do you?
Oh, absolutely.
And you can visit the real reindeer.
This is okay.
They've got
I'll have to put this on my bucket
Aren't you
list.
sorry you asked that question?
No, no.
They've got 8 live reindeer.
Yep.
There.
Okay.
In a barn.
Only 8. Where's the 9th one?
Well, it's the
Rudolph
red, it's the red nose, and he's always away somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So we've got brown
Down at
nose
a bar or
reindeers.
something?
Yeah, he's having a drink.
Okay.
So yeah. So there you go.
Wow. I'll have to
Santa's
put this
Village
on
is
my
still-
list.
And it's so funny. You talk to people that go up to New Hampshire on vacation, and they all go to Storyland.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh yeah, have you ever been to Santa's Village?" No, it's
It's too far up.
I
It's too far up.
It's another half hour.
Yep.
Up
I
Route
hear- I've
16
heard
or
the
whatever
same
it is.
thing.
Yeah. I'm like, and it's a better amusement park.
Well, I think because, first of all, people have that, okay, this is only here, only there, only
Yeah.
there. With us, it was like, okay, we're going to Storyland, we're going to Santa's Village, we're going to
yeah.
X. I had purchased, it was an auction at Stadium, and they had I can't remember. I think it was a week, 2 weeks, whatever it was, at a place, Sunday River, I think,
Okay,
it's,
yeah,
which is
that's
in
in Maine.
Bethel.
Bethel, Maine.
Bethel. So we stayed
is
there, but
nearby.
each day we went to, we still drove to all these places.
Yeah.
Of course, Bethel is nowhere near not Hampton Beach, Old
Where's-
Orchard
where's
Beach.
Oh, no.
But we went anyway. That was stupid, but
Well, that's
whatever.
a long drive to get to Old Orchard Beach from
But
Bethel.
on the way, I'll never forget, there was a cemetery, and it was just pretty, so we stopped. What do I see but a sign that says, and I have a picture of it, I'll find it somewhere, now taking reservations. It was a cemetery.
That's funny. Well, people are dying to get in. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'll
You
be
had
here all
that-
week.
you were waiting
I was
to
waiting
ring
for
that bell.
I was.
Well, it's always too far if you have to pass more than 4 Dunkin' Donuts. If you're going beyond that distance, it's just out of the
Well,
question.
That's a little tough in New Hampshire. You're not going to
Yeah.
pass 4 in a 1 mile area.
No.
So
No, it's not bad. You know, what about Six Gun City? They're right down the street from
they've
Jeff.
been closed.
They've been
they-
closed.
they've been
Well,
closed for a
that was
while.
another.
That was another,
Eh.
small amusement park.
Yeah.
But for some reason, people know Storyland, and especially if they got younger kids, they go to that one. But for some reason, although a lot of people still go to Santa's Village, and it does well. But some people say, "Oh, that's another half hour up the road. That means another half hour back." Okay, don't go. I'd rather go to Santa's Village than. And
yeah,
Storyland.
given it one or the other.
Yeah, if you had your choice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they play
Okay.
Christmas music, all the time.
Oh, my
Even in the summer.
goodness. Oh,
Oh, it's
wow.
great. So rock around the Christmas tree, and it's always being piped around.
If I ever go to New Hampshire, I will put this on my list.
But I was so impressed
you
on,
have
the,
to.
on the day it rained. I think there were 10 of us in the park, 10 patrons that showed up, but there was an employee at every single ride just in case we wanted to ride that ride. Talk about a dull day if you had no one to ride the rides. But there you go.
Fantastic.
And on the flume ride, there's a guy that's actually got a squeegee who's going to brush the rain of the water off the seats. If you want me to do that, why bother? We've been sitting in water for all day.
Right.
There's just no reason to do this. But it's funny. You talk about the flume ride, or I'm talking about it. I was always used to the Rocky Point
Yes.
flume ride, and that was up on stilts, basically. Every other flume ride I've been on has been on the ground. That's
Yeah.
up until you go up the big hill. I said, nothing beats the Rocky Point
No.
flume ride because it was up high. I said, this is the way it should be.
It was up high.
it
Now, what
was
about
up
the one?
high.
And I haven't been there in a few years either. Is Six Flags?
I haven't been to Six Flags in quite a while.
I think theirs is more like a Rocky Point one. Parts of it,
I
like
can't
it may
remember.
start out on the
Yeah.
ground and then go up on the stilts.
It might. I can't remember.
what I think it
I know the
is.
one at Canopy Lake is on the ground till you go up the big hill
Yeah,
and like that.
trying to
so.
think of that one. I haven't been to these. Now that my
Well,
kids
it's
are older.
It's expensive to go to these
Well,
places,
my
too.
daughter is 35 now,
Yeah.
and I have a picture. Was our Christmas cards way back when, from Santa's Village, the snowman.
It's still there, and
Okay.
you can sit in his hands.
Yes, and that was our Christmas
It's,
card.
everyone takes their picture.
So that picture's
have
got
to
to be
put the kids in
32
there.
years old. That was a Christmas card I had
There's a
made.
picture of me sitting in
Yeah.
that at like 3 years old, and then and you go back
Yeah.
and you have and the snowman hasn't changed. Well, they may repainted it, I guess, but
Well, but wait, he has not changed.
but he's 8 foot. He's
But
like
he
10
looks
feet
so
tall.
much smaller than he did.
Really, Sue?
Now, how do we get a copy of the photograph of Joe sitting on the snowman's hands?
Well, my parents had it, and they passed away, and it's got to be somewhere with my sister somewhere. If
Can
she-
we
if-
have
if
her
she
name
still
and
has it.
address
No,
and
you can't.
point of
No,
contact?
No, you can't. No. That's you're
yes.
the lawyer. You go research.
I know I have mine. I'm
But you see, you see
easily
people,
accessible.
lined up to put a child into one of the mittens of the snowman to have their picture taken because it's
Yep.
it's iconic. Oh, and the sleigh outside too.
Yep.
There's a sleigh outside. You got to have
Yeah.
your picture taken in as well.
Wow.
Things you have to do.
I have-
And you do see a lot of grandparents bringing their grandkids there too.
Of course.
Of course, the kids go on the rides, grandparents don't.
You know, that's what I should do is take the two grandkids.
Take the
Well, I
grandkids,
have
yeah.
3, but one's still too little.
Oh, okay. Okay, wait 2 more years.
Yeah.
Then you'd
yeah.
be good to go. All right, we're going to get away from Santa's Village in New Hampshire and everything like that. And when we come back, but Sue, it's time for a second message from the Blackstone
my
Valley
God.
Call-in Times.
Already.
Already, yeah.
Okay, so as I said, the office is open typically from 8 to 3:30. But with summer hours, things do change, kids on vacation and parents having to deal with them. So should you need anything in the office at 154 Main Street, you can call my cell phone at 401-487-4136 or call Christina at 767-8503.
All right, Sue, thanks. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
It's here. It's the 2024 Holy Trinity Parish Carnival on the parish grounds at Park Square in Woonsocket today through Saturday night. Relive memories, make new ones. Starts at 6 p.m. every night, plus a Saturday afternoon matinee. All your favorite parish games and Rockwell Amusements nightly. Great food with Cuisine Ronaldo with all your carnival favorites, including dynamites and sausage sandwiches, plus Spanish cuisine and food trucks with Mickey G's clam cakes and chowder, alien ice, and bugged out barbecue. Tonight, fireworks at 9:30. Classroom bingo. Follow the signs in back of the big slide. And entertainment from the dance hall DJs. Get your tickets now for the big drawings of $500 worth of Rhode Island lottery tickets and split the pot 50-50. Drawing live on the radio Saturday night at 10 p.m. It's 4 nights and one great afternoon of summertime fun at the Holy Trinity Parish Festival through Saturday, August 3rd. Make your plans to be there. Hey, let's take a look at the entertainment at Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. Why don't we? Tonight, we have karaoke all Friday nights in the lounge, WRIK Entertainment, 9 to midnight tonight karaoke. But over in the Four Seasons Banquet Hall, we have longtime James Montgomery bassist extraordinaire Dave Hull. He's worked with Joe Perry Project and Steve Tyler's Aerosmith. It's a CD release party tonight, 8 o'clock. David Hull and the Dirty Angels. $15 in advance, $20 at the door. That's tonight, August 2nd. Tomorrow night, August 3rd at 8 p.m., Funky Submarine. $15 in advance, $20 at the door. It's a 7-piece band with 3 horns performing tunes written by the Beatles in a funky groove. Just the kind of music you want while you're noshing down on that great Chinese food at Chan's. It's led by bassist Nate Beauvais, featuring lead vocals by Jenna Ramos. It's Funky Submarine tomorrow night at 8 at Chan's. 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. Go there or be square.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with RE/MAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial. And he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first. And he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
Hi, this is John Ward, candidate for mayor of Woonsocket. My campaign has started. I've already met many of you while walking the city. You understand what's been happening to our city and want change. I do too. I'm asking for your vote on primary day, Tuesday, September the 10th. Every single vote on September the 10th will be important. I hope you'll visit my website, wardformayor.org. Learn about the issues and my plan to turn things around. Let's get past this failed and embarrassing administration. Ours is a citizens campaign. Every $5, $10, or $20 donation can help. Wardformayor.org is the place to join me. I think Woonsocket needs a fresh start. You do too. Our city mismanagement is shameful. Woonsocket must take a new direction where experience and integrity matter. where you matter. I'm John Ward, candidate for mayor, and I respectfully ask for your vote. Let's turn our city around together. Thank you.
Paid for by Friends of John Ward.
It's Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Bob Lauder and Sue Tesher McKenzie, and things going on here in the city. So, we had the big mill fire.
Yes.
And great pictures in the call, by the way.
Did you see? I took one.
No, I didn't
You
see
didn't
the
see
one.
that?
No.
Yep. Actually, I take that back. My name's under it.
Oh, okay.
So my son loves history of mill buildings
Okay.
because he has seen the refurbishing of
Right,
some and
right.
and so on. And so he was there July 21st, which was just a couple weeks ago, and he took pictures of both sides of that building.
Okay, I think I remember seeing that picture.
So he
Okay.
sent it to me,
Yeah,
and I submitted it
yeah.
to the call because I didn't know if somebody had
Had like a before
made
picture.
So I sent it, and it was on the front page, so I took a picture of it, sent it to my son. My son's like, is that my picture? And there's my name under it.
Oh, all right.
Is
Well,
that
'cause you
my
submitted
picture,
it.
Mom?
Yeah.
Yes, it's your picture.
All right. The other picture, I think, was taken by John Baker. Was,
Yes.
But it looked like an explosion had gone off because the dust was still flying around. And it was just
Still
a couple.
smoking right now.
I know it is. How about that? And it's just a couple of columns. And I go, boy, it looks like a third world country, like something had been bombed. I'm like, wow. So the DEM over there, Department of Environmental Management, because they're monitoring the air quality over there, and they haven't come up with a decision yet. But what if they say the air quality is not good? Will people have to leave their homes? Do they have that kind of authority to tell
I have
people
no
that?
idea. I would think, but this time, the major danger has passed because the fire is gone and the amount of rubble is probably not emitting as much carcinogens as it was had before. But it's surprising how quickly that entire building was destroyed.
Oh yeah,
And one would speculate as to what was the cause of the fire.
hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
Well,
Still
that's what they're
investigating.
doing. My son was there again yesterday. The governor was there.
Yep.
I mean, every law enforcement office was there. They're all there.
FBI,
FBI,
yeah.
they're all there.
All checking on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, okay, the Woonsocket Fire Department's hazmat team reported they did not detect any hazardous chemicals at ground level.
Good.
So, that's good news.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, we're still awaiting the exact cause of what may cause this terrible fire over on the Privilege Street, but no firefighters got hurt.
Good.
So, that's just that's awesome. Yeah, that nothing bad happened like that.
But we don't have very many old mill buildings left in town.
No.
No.
Which is sad because there's one I drove by the other day in Providence, but the North Providence side on Branch Ave. It's a beautiful building, very, very similar. I even took a picture of it, that center column, the ones that are still standing here.
Right.
And what there's a bike shop on the first level, it's apartments, and beautiful job. So that's what was the plan, I
Yeah.
guess, for here. And that's why my son took a picture, because he knew the building was sold, so he took a picture so he could keep getting those, in the process of pictures, because he loves that stuff. So,
And it's too bad that they couldn't repurpose the building.
of course.
Well, maybe there were plans to. They just, we haven't gotten to it yet. So,
Speaking of buildings, what's going on with the Buell building down on Main Street? Has the Call Times sold the building, or is it?
Oh, we sold that quite a while ago.
Oh, okay.
But, so when we saw, there's supposed to be, it's funny that you're asking that today, because the Boston Globe, I believe it was, reached out to our publisher doing a story on the building.
Huh.
This was yesterday.
Oh,
So that's why
wow,
it's kind of
that's
funny
new.
that you're mentioning that now. So the building had been sold quite some time ago because we no longer needed what
All that
we
space,
had. I
yeah.
mean, and so
Right.
you're paying all this money. Once the press downstairs broke, it became less and less of a need to have that building. So they did finally sell it. It's supposed to have been done by now, I think, with the regard to apartments and retail space, and our office was supposed to still be on the first level, but I haven't seen any action
Oh, okay.
at all. So I don't know, sometimes, you invest in these buildings and a major issue comes up, like
Yeah.
somebody, you need a car repair, and it's like, no, it's not worth repairing when I can just go get a new one type thing. I don't know if they got into something that was out of the budget. I don't know for what words I should be using, but
Remember, you kept saying you're out of the building because they're doing so much work on the inside. Do you know if they're still doing work on the
that's
inside?
what I haven't seen anything.
Nothing going
and
on
we
there,
haven't
okay.
been in.
Right.
The sign we put there back in February is still on the window that says we
We're
moved.
down the street.
Which oftentimes when somebody buys a building, it's like, no, you can't put your sign there saying you moved. And
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
I've experienced that a lot with small businesses. They're like, no, they don't want you to put that there that you moved. It's, they
Right.
they want you to still go to that plaza or go to that
Right, right.
whatever. So, yeah.
Well, it still says the call above
It
the
still
door.
does,
so,
yep.
Okay.
And that's historic in itself.
that sign.
Yep.
Yeah.
That all of that whole top and that little logo that's up
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Looks like Mickey Mouse.
That's all historical.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the Historical Society has been in the building. They have taken things that they felt they could use, whether it's at the Museum of Work and Culture or the Historical Society, whatever the case is. They have taken some of our stuff. I don't know
All
what
right.
to
It
say.
has the terracotta image of Samuel Foss in the top of the building, doesn't it?
So I don't know if it's terracotta. I think that's bronze.
Bronze? Okay, because
wow.
it
I-
came
Worth money
from
now.
Thing.
it came from the old Nigerian building lower down on Main Street, which was torn down, and they removed it from that building and then placed it over on the Buell building.
I don't know, but hold on. If it's bronze, it would turn green, not brown.
Yeah, I
Right?
thought it was some kind of brick,
Yes.
Okay.
brick construction on it. But
I don't know. I'm going to have to look at it a little closer.
Okay. Well, we had a 34-year-old on a different note. A 34-year-old Woonsocket resident that was sentenced 8 years in federal prison and 4 years of supervised release. Gregory Ortega pleaded guilty in May to conspiracy to distribute and possess over 40 grams of fentanyl. It's a lot. He's been sentenced twice before in Rhode Island for drug trafficking. This is 3 times and you're out kind of thing. Surprised he didn't actually get a longer sentence because it's 3 times.
Yeah.
But
wow. Well, fentanyl is such a dangerous recreational drug.
yeah,
I'm surprised that there are people who want to use it.
I know, it's so
been. I've read articles where it's been mixed into other types
Yes.
of drugs which don't have that kind of severe death-relating penalty.
They
I-
put
I-
it in it, and it also, sadly, I've spoken to people, and sadly they say that if your supply gives you that type of a high, that you could even, pass out or whatever, they're going to go to you more.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So what you just said is correct. They mix it, and sometimes some unsuspecting souls don't know what's mixed.
Right. That's what I've understood.
not to put a black eye on your profession, Bob.
Oh no,
But did
that's
we,
just an eye patch because we were all pirates.
Yeah. Well, we had the story yesterday. An attorney out of Woburn, Mass, has been visiting. I think it's her client at the Wyatt Detention Facility in Central Falls,
Right.
passing marijuana, allegedly marijuana-laced paper to her client.
Marijuana laced paper.
Yeah, it looks like they take 8.5 sheets of paper, dip it in some kind of solution, and then they dry it. And now it's a synthetic marijuana, but now it's in the paper, and they're passing the papers onto the prisoner. I don't know what they're doing with it, other than they're smoking it or eating it or what they're doing with it. But they confiscated 10 sheets of this stuff that they have on camera of the lawyer passing it to this person.
Wow.
Like, what? And so I was like, wow, I was right. I was like,
It's been probably almost 40 years since I visited any of the inmates down at the ACI.
okay.
It's my vague recollection that you did not have personal access to them. There was some kind of a screen in the middle. But-
Well, this is a federal prison, so I don't know if things are different. But
Okay.
also in the story I read, she asked for a the special room. She didn't like the other rooms, and because the other rooms made her feel uncomfortable. But this room, you did have interaction. There were no screens. You just sat across the table from each other.
Okay.
And so it looks like client, attorney clients. Here are your papers. I don't know. Maybe he signed some fake stuff to give back to her. They make it look like they're exchanging papers that he needed to sign.
Okay, but
yet they're on camera. Yet he kept some of the papers.
All right.
So they said something suspicious is going on here, and that's what they found. And the other thing he was also allegedly passing back to the attorney were the bets he wanted her to make on sports, and she did. I'm like,
Okay.
wow.
how was he paying for the bets? I mean, he wouldn't be
I don't
passing
know.
currency across to her.
No, probably. Well, place the bet for me,
Right.
$100. If I win, keep the 100 for yourself.
But if
Keep my money somewhere else, and we'll just.
where did they get the seed money to start this operation?
Well, if you're my lawyer, Bob, and I ask you to do this, well, Bob, you got a lot of money. Front $50 for me. And
Yeah, but if I lose, and usually you lose in
all right.
bets.
Okay, if I lose, I'll contact a family member or whatever,
You
and
add it
they'll
into your hourly fee.
yeah, they'll back. They'll pay you. Trust me.
You're giving me a whole lot of advice on how to operate my office, but I really don't think I'm going to be.
I don't think it's wise to do this,
Well,
Bob.
I don't want to make changes in my overall
All right. Well,
operation plans right
and
now.
the other thing is what became suspicious is this attorney visited this guy, making the trek down from Woburn,
Right.
which is quite a trek, by the way, to get to Central Falls.
More than 4 Dunkin' Donuts, right?
That's right. 4 times in 2 weeks. I said, that's a lot of visits for an attorney to make to one client in a short period of time. So now we're watching you. What is really going on here? So that was
Okay,
the story yesterday out of Woburn. So
I think I'm going to stick with my present operating plan.
all right, very good. It's working for you. So
And
you
by
can
the
stay
way,
with it.
if you do get into jail and you ask me to front money for you,
The answer is no. But Bob, it's a small amount. It's a sure thing. It's a sure thing. No, all right.
right.
We're
This
gonna
is the guy who sat on Santa's lap. Right.
Of course. All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee In program. Time for the forecast being brought to you by Bank of America.
The National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory for today. Mostly sunny skies with a high of 91 and a breeze from the west. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 69. Friday's weather, mostly sunny with a high of 91 and a calm wind. Saturday, 60% chance of a shower or thunderstorm, mostly cloudy skies, 85 for a high, more rain Saturday night. Sunday looks like a mostly cloudy day with a high near 83. Monday, mostly sunny, 87. Tuesday, mostly sunny, 80. Next Wednesday, partly sunny and 77 degrees.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street under sunny skies. It's hot and humid. We have 84 degrees. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate. Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love. It's here. It's the 2024 Holy Trinity Parish Carnival on the parish grounds at Park Square in Woonsocket today through Saturday night. Relive memories, make new ones. Starts at 6 p.m. every night, plus a Saturday afternoon matinee. All your favorite parish games and Rockwell Amusements nightly. Great food with Cuisine Ronaldo with all your carnival favorites, including dynamites and sausage sandwiches, plus Spanish cuisine and food trucks with Mickey G's clam cakes and chowder, Alien Ice, and Bugged Out Barbecue. Tonight, fireworks at 9:30. Classroom bingo. Follow the signs in back of the big slide. And entertainment from the dance hall DJs. Get your tickets now for the big drawings of $500 worth of Rhode Island lottery tickets and split the pot 50-50. Drawing live on the radio Saturday night at 10 p.m. It's 4 nights and one great afternoon of summertime fun at the Holy Trinity Parish Festival through Saturday, August 3rd. Make your plans to be there.
All right, it is Coffee In here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Sue Tesser-McKenzie and Bob Lauder. And Bob, time for first message from your law office.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. It's not often that I have a world-class, extraordinary celebrity to assist me.
Keep going.
To assist me in these radio commercials. But this morning I have one. It's not Joe. Although she never knew me and would never have intended to assist me in my legal endeavors. About a year ago, a jury in California decided that the handwritten document purportedly signed by Aretha Franklin and left under the cushions of a couch in her home and discovered only several years after her death took precedent over another handwritten document found earlier in a cabinet in her home. Now, while Miss Franklin was a fantastic singer and performer, she was abysmally deficient in completing her estate plans. Leaving handwritten notes purporting to be a will is a surefire way of exposing one's estate to costly and lengthy litigation, where various nominated beneficiaries and the heirs at law fight over the assets of the estate. And Miss Franklin's estate was worth millions of dollars. If Miss Franklin had been a resident of Rhode Island, it's doubtful that either document would have been established as a valid last will and testament, for neither document was witnessed by anyone. While a few of us may have the assets of Miss Franklin, it's prudent for all of us to carefully plan the distribution of our estates following our death. And those plans can best be created through consultation with an attorney to discuss not only the eventual distribution of the assets, but also how those assets may be lawfully titled to avoid some of the trauma of probate administration. If you'd like to discuss legal matters with me, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer, the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license to certify any attorney, is an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
I remember when that took place, Bob. Now, did one of those handwritten wills ever become... Okay, this is the one we're going with and not the other one. Or were they both just tossed out?
A jury in California decided that one of them was the valid will.
How could they make that determination?
I don't know.
Wow.
I have no idea how they were able to prove that in California.
Okay.
I think that would be very, very difficult in Rhode Island.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they were dated, but, you can lie about the dates.
I would imagine they probably brought in handwriting experts to testify as to whether or not it was Miss Franklin's handwriting. Probably an analysis of the paper to see how old it was.
Yep.
The circumstances under which it had been located. Yeah.
Yeah, who puts it under the couch?
Not anybody who's
cabinet.
doing some realistic estate planning.
Yeah.
No. No.
Get a file cabinet. You can still get them at Walmart. And
No, I
Put it in there for
recall
safekeeping.
a problem we had with an estate that goes back probably about 40 years now, where the decedent had written her own will and left it in the kitchen of her home. And it was a disaster. And of course, the will was not taken into probate in court. There was no witnesses to it. It was a nice piece of paper that showed what she wanted to have happen, but it wasn't going to be legally binding.
Now, TV shows, mostly TV shows, maybe in some movies, they show people reading their own will.
Yep.
Are those okay? I think I've asked this question before, and I can't remember the answer.
In-
Do those stand up?
In 50 years of practice, I have very seldom had a occasion where you've had a formal reading of the will with all of the beneficiaries are
Hanging
sitting
around.
around. Usually, someone who's located the will, probably the nominating executor, will bring the will in. We will file the original in the probate court. We will provide copies to all of the heirs at law, which we have to notify of the pendency of the case, and that takes care of it. If some of the beneficiaries or non-beneficiaries want to file a claim, they have the right to do so. They can challenge it in court, but those pictures you see on TV of people sitting around in the lawyer's office and listening to it, we've done it a few times just to make people happy, but it's not something that happens very often.
Have you ever heard of anybody videotaping themselves? And they always say, my lawyer videotaped this for me, therefore it's perfectly legal.
In the past, where I have suspected we might have a challenge as to the ability of the testator to express their desires or be determined of sound mind, we have videotaped it, and it hasn't been just the signing part of it. It's usually been a discussion ahead of time as to circumstances regarding their estates, what they're planning on doing, show that they have given consideration to who they're nominating, they know what their assets are, and they've made this of their own free will and desire, and that they're competent. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Other things going on in the news. They were very busy in North Providence. North Providence police were called to a home for a wellness check, and basically the man held the police off for quite a while. I guess he had a gun. He also had his 90-year-old mother from Greece in the house as well, and they were trying to negotiate. He kept saying he heard either voices or there's someone in my attic, and I'm here. I'm going to defend myself. So they were a little concerned. It did end peacefully, although when he wasn't looking, they did break down his door and rushed in, got him. There was a bit of a scuffle, but he wasn't terribly hurt,
Right.
and brought to, I think, Rhode Island Hospital to be evaluated like that. But at least no one got killed in this situation.
Well, I'm not a expert in strategy and negotiations with people who are armed, and I can see why they wouldn't have done anything drastic with a 90-year-old woman in the house. But a lot of times when you read about individuals who've barricaded themselves into the house and they have weapons and they're holding off the police, I've often wondered, why don't the police just shoot a tear gas canister through a window, and it'll fill the house with this toxin that will force the individual out? But I don't see that ever really happening. And I don't know if that's a bad strategy or why it's not used.
You see it on TV, movies a lot. Maybe it's not standard operating procedure. They want it to end where the person just gives up their weapon and just walks out,
Right.
and there's no damage done to the house. But until you get to a certain point where it's negotiations of not going anywhere, I don't know why they don't use.
Well, I remember,
that tear gas.
in Army training, going through the tear gas chambers, those are
Tough.
tough. Your eyes
Maybe-
immediately, you want to get out of there.
Yeah.
And you can't see anything. It's,
Right.
It's,
Wonder if it has anything to do with another person being in the house.
that I would think would be appropriate.
That
you
might
don't
be.
shoot that in with a
I'm-
90-year-old lady. But if the individual is believed to be
Alone,
alone in the
yeah.
house,
Why
this
not?
seems a pretty effective
Right.
way of getting them disoriented and getting them out.
I have to try it next time we have one of the Woonsocket PD here.
We'll have to
to
ask
try
him,
to
yeah.
ask that
Okay.
question. How come that's not? How come hours go by before this tactic is used, or would it ever be used, or is that just
Right.
all Hollywood, kind of thing?
It probably, they must have given consideration to it, and they have good reasons why they don't do it.
Yes,
Right,
I
right.
just wonder what they are, kind
Okay.
of thing. But it seems like a bit of a hassle because we have to go and get all the police around this house, then we got to evacuate all the houses that are also around it, and it disrupts people's lives for
Oh, God.
hours.
It was a long time, too.
Yeah.
Even the chief, I believe, was on the news saying how, his team was exhausted.
Yeah.
They were exhausted. How part of the problem was, keep getting replacements, reinforcements, or whatever.
So why they just don't do that, right off the bat? If, what, you got 5 minutes. If you don't
Right.
come out, the tear
I ain't
gas
got time
is
for this.
The
Let's
tear
go.
gas is coming in. I don't know. So Newport Jazz Festival is this weekend, in case you wanted to go.
Does it list the performers who's going to be there?
No,
Oh, okay.
so sorry, I don't have that list in front of me. We had some excitement in my town. The word went out that they wanted people to shelter in place, lock your doors, lock your windows, not for the whole town, but for certain streets. I'm like, something's happened.
Were you outside mowing your lawn again?
Yeah, 1 a.m. People will get upset.
Okay. All right.
But it came down like midnight last night. Shelter in place, and then at 3 or so, it was lifted. They said, okay, the threat to the public is over, and everything is fine. And I said, okay, we're not going to wait for the press release to come out to find out what exactly happened.
What did happen?
Well, turns out a man was coming home and got home around 11 o'clock at night. And when he got home, in his driveway, his stepson, who lives at the house that the gentleman came home to, the stepson allegedly came out and stabbed him.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, bad enough where he had to be taken to the hospital. Didn't die, but he had to go for treatment. And so then the stepson takes off on foot
Oh,
with
Jesus.
knife in hand. So that's where the lockdown comes from. He's out somewhere. So police, FBI, SWAT team, helicopters show up there, and so they look for him. They said extensively for 3 hours
In the dark.
in the dark because it's like now 1, 2 in the morning. Can't find him. And but then they lifted it, and police get all sorts of information that the public never gets. And the word went out that okay, we don't believe he's in the area anymore.
Not good enough for me.
So the lockdown has been lifted. You can go about your business. And so I'm hoping they're right. I'm because it's my town. And but you read about these things when this happens, and the person ends up getting picked up in New York City or
Yeah.
Miami or sometimes in California. They make a real run for it, and so they're still looking for this guy that allegedly stabbed his stepfather.
Didn't they have a lockdown just the day before with the ammonia break?
That was North Attleboro.
Oh, okay.
The leak at the business there.
All right.
Yeah.
I was thinking
That
Mansfield's
wasn't
getting
us.
to be quite an exciting
No,
place to
that
live.
was just next town over, but that wasn't us. And so the street that this happened on, it was that street and 2 other streets, but it wasn't near where I live. So I'm happy about that.
Wow.
So exciting, huh?
Yeah. Now, I don't know how effective the helicopters would be at night.
Well, they got the lights panning down. Let's see if we can find someone running around.
And I'm sure they had infrared.
Okay.
And they just put out, if you know where this guy is,
Heat
Call-
sensors.
give us a
that-
call.
Heat sensors.
And
that's what I'm
but they
thinking.
didn't, they only had a very vague description of him. He's about 6'1", African American. He's wearing black clothes.
Oh, for
I'm
God's
like,
sake.
that's it.
Okay.
That's all we got. That's all we got. Okay, so I'm going with okay. He's made it somehow. He's made his way to New York City. I'm hoping, and they'll pick him up in a day or so. So we'll
Wow.
see. Bob, it's time for a second message from the law office, please. So, any more good Aretha Franklin stories?
No, not that.
Ah, darn.
Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. A few minutes ago, I suggested it would be prudent to consult with an attorney for an estate plan. I'd like to expand that advice today into, and you know what's coming, some realistic estate plans. The most difficult part of estate planning is identifying your assets and deciding how you want your assets distributed following your death. In identifying your assets, you should make a list of what you own, all of the real estate you own, including any timeshare condos, and whose names are on the deed. All of the bank accounts, credit union accounts, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and similar financial assets, and whose names are on the accounts. And all of your IRAs, 401k investments, and life insurance, and who you've nominated as beneficiaries and contingent beneficiaries in the event of your death. Then comes the distribution decisions. Who do you want to receive your various assets? If more than one individual, what is the percentage share amount you want each of the beneficiaries to receive? If a beneficiary has died before you, who do you want to receive the bequest you originally made to the now deceased beneficiary? Thereafter, you may be considerations concerning the age at which beneficiaries may be entitled to receive the bequests, whether or not to establish a trust for a juvenile or a disabled beneficiary, the name of the trustee and the manner in which the trust will be administered, and whether or not it's appropriate to consider a living trust in addition to a last will and testament. The final decisions can best be described and discussed with an attorney. If you'd like to discuss legal matters with me, please call my office for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue here on ON Radio.
Hey, Red,
Who? Me?
your face is beet red and you look like you're gonna pass out.
Well, you know, I'm a little dizzy, but working outside in this heat, what are you gonna do?
You're in danger of heat exhaustion, my friend. And if you want to finish up this job today and get paid, you need to take a break in the shade and drink some water. Now, got it?
Yeah, but I gotta.
You gotta stay safe and healthy to stay on the job, right?
That's true.
A message from the Rhode Island Department of Health and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
It's here. It's the 2024 Holy Trinity Parish Carnival on the parish grounds at Park Square in Woonsocket today through Saturday night. Relive memories, make new ones. Starts at 6 p.m. every night, plus a Saturday afternoon matinee. All your favorite parish games and Rockwell Amusements nightly. Great food with Cuisine Ronaldo with all your carnival favorites, including dynamites and sausage sandwiches, plus Spanish cuisine and food trucks with Mickey G's clam cakes and chowder, alien ice, and bugged out barbecue. Tonight, fireworks at 9:30, classroom bingo, follow the signs in back of the big slide, and entertainment from the dance hall DJs. Get your tickets now for the big drawings of $500 worth of Rhode Island lottery tickets and split the pot 50-50, drawing live on the radio Saturday night at 10 p.m. It's 4 nights and one great afternoon of summertime fun at the Holy Trinity Parish Festival through Saturday, August 3rd. Make your plans to be there.
Hi, this is John Ward, candidate for mayor of Woonsocket. My campaign has started. I've already met many of you while walking the city. You understand what's been happening to our city and want change. I do too. I'm asking for your vote on primary day, Tuesday, September the 10th. Every single vote on September the 10th will be important. I hope you'll visit my website, wardformayor.org. Learn about the issues and my plan to turn things around. Let's get past this failed and embarrassing administration. Ours is a citizens campaign. Every $5, $10, or $20 donation can help. Wardformayor.org is the place to join me. I think Woonsocket needs a fresh start. You do too. Our city mismanagement is shameful. Woonsocket must take a new direction where experience and integrity matter, where you matter. I'm John Ward, candidate for mayor, and I respectfully ask for your vote. Let's turn our city around together. Thank you.
Paid for by Friends of John Ward.
All right, Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder, Sue Tesser McKenzie here as well. And so, you know, we always hear the story about the firefighters that got to get a cat out of a tree.
Yes.
Well, down in Garden Grove, California, firefighters rescued a kitten. It was stuck inside the wheel of a spare tire.
How in the
How
world
did it get in
it
there?
get in
I
the
don't know.
wheel of a spare tire?
The owner of the car heard the meows of the cat, discovered it poking his head out of the hub of the wheel. So an Orange County Fire Authority crew came over, and they tried using soap and water, but they couldn't pull the cat out, couldn't pull the kitten out. I guess it was too stuck. So you know what they did?
Cut the
They cut the tire. They had to get a chainsaw, not for the cat, but they used a chainsaw to cut the tire and a large spoon to protect the cat's head.
Yeah.
So,
I can see that. Yep.
And move
Okay,
over
so
here with a
they're-
cut over here.
Yeah, I can see
They're
how
cutting.
that would work.
The cat was cut into the metal hub of the tire, not the rubber part around it.
Well, it says just in the spare tire, not the wheel.
All right.
So,
But most spare tires, even if they're those small monkey tires in the trunk,
Yeah.
have a metal hub
Yeah.
in the center. Wow.
So maybe that's where it was, but its head was near the tire or whatever. So they had to, in order to cut the rubber, keep the tire cool. Well, now it says keeping the wheel cool. They had to pour water on it while they're cutting it with the chainsaw, and they did eventually get the cat out. And so the man,
Hold on.
the man who found the cat's going to take it home.
He
Okay.
was stuck in the middle.
Of the wheel?
Okay.
Sue's
I would
looking it up
trust.
on
I
her-
would
on her
trust that
cell
this
phone.
guy didn't have this wheel on a Stutz Bearcat, did he?
No,
Rats.
no, no. It's just
That's a bad
What'd you-
attempt at a joke.
I know. What'd you
Okay.
find, Sue?
I,
She's showing a picture to Bob at the moment, and
That
I guess
is
it's a picture
amazing,
of the cat.
and it's not the most intelligent-looking animal I've ever seen.
Okay, so we got the hub of the wheel, and
Yep.
the cat's head is poking out of the hub, which means the
Out of
rest of
the
its body,
hub?
the rest of its body is stuck inside the wheel.
Okay.
So
if
now-
the, if
so-
the little guy got his head through there to begin with, why can't they just push his head back?
I don't think it works that way. You might end up killing the cat.
Oh, okay.
It's now it's stuck. Cats are pretty smart,
you know
and
what?
they know if they
I-
can't
This
get their head
cat
back.
was
Hold
not
on.
Well,
smart.
Not,
I mean,
not
he-
this one, but
hold on.
yes.
Oh, there's more.
There are many cats that
happens often.
apparently get stuck.
In spare tires?
Yes.
They should
'Cause you
not
said
give them
that one was
driver's licenses.
California, right?
Garden Grove, California. Yes.
There's one in
Oh, there's a bunch, huh?
there's quite a few. So let me find
Wow.
your cat
All right,
that
see if you
you're
can find it.
referencing.
All right. In the meantime, though,
Wow.
this is for the. This is unbelievable. A 21-year-old Harvard dropout. Okay, went to Harvard but stopped out. He's unveiling an AI, artificial intelligence, AI-powered constant companion. He made an AI friend of him for himself. According to Avi Schiffman, Friend is a wearable pendant that combats loneliness by engaging in conversations and essentially keeping the user company. And you wear it around your neck. All right. Pre-orders for the $99 wearable are being taken now, and delivery is expected in January.
This sounds like
Carry
a
around your little
kid in
friend.
college who couldn't get along with his roommates and needed a special. Oh, golly. Well, I
But he
suppose
came up with something.
it fills a need, but
I guess.
all right.
All right. What'd you find? Anything, Sue, yet?
It's all video, so I'm
So,
trying to get
okay.
something
All
that I
right.
can. Oh, got one.
All right.
One. There he is.
All right.
Also in the hub.
Stuck's in the hub of the wheel. So that, I don't know why they, I guess for protection, they climb in there.
Oh,
And then they just,
Yeah, because
you can go
if,
in face first, and then they try to come out face first, but I don't know, the body gets
Well,
stuck
because
somehow.
cats do things that
Yeah.
you know, if I fits, I sits,
Yeah.
and they're in these tiny little boxes and things. So
Okay.
All right.
So the guy has an artificial friend.
The guy in San, yeah, he's a Harvard dropout. He lives in San Francisco now. He's created an artificial friend for himself that you can talk to.
Okay. Now, does the
Wearing on his neck.
artificial friend? I would imagine you can pre-program the artificial friend so that it's either complacent with everything you say and says how wonderful you are,
They agree,
or is
yes. Oh, they're not gonna have like a.
going to be dissing you and saying
Why would
things
you
that
want?
you don't agree with.
Why would you want that?
right.
Yeah, but I would think that having companions, having somebody who doesn't agree with you all the time and has other opinions is more fun than just somebody who's a sycophant and says, "Yes, you're the greatest person on earth." You've
No, I
never
think I
heard
want-
me.
I think I
You've
want
never
that.
heard me use that in here, have you?
No, you have not. No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Dave, Bob, I found a case for you. Okay.
Great. Good. I need them.
It's not a divorce or a thing like that. A man accused of hiding his daughter, who was reported missing in Monterey Park, California, has been charged with felony child stealing and concealment.
All right.
And he's looking for a lawyer. I don't know if he's looking
Yeah,
for a lawyer.
it's a
Stealing?
long way to travel to Monterey.
How come it's not kidnapping and just stealing?
I don't know.
That
Jeffrey Chow, whose 15-year-old daughter was reported missing earlier this month, is also accused of falsely reporting an emergency. He faces up to 5 years in prison if convicted as charged. Chow was arrested last Friday, 3 days after his daughter was found safe in Glendale, California. Allison Chow was reported missing on July 16th after reportedly leaving on a bike ride from her home to a relative's home in San Gabriel, but never made it there. It's
suspect-
felony child stealing and concealment. I've actually never heard that.
I would suspect
either.
that part of that is involved in a child custody
You think so?
dispute. Yeah.
Doesn't say.
I would expect that there's a parental guide that says he has the child so many days a week or weekends, and the mother has the child the remainder, and he's just trying to conceal the child for that
But
purpose.
to report, that you have her, but now you report my child's missing. Well, that's everything. All these wheels in motion
Yeah.
to try and find her when
Yep.
you know where she is, and then she escapes and goes someplace else. But I go, when you try to think the whole thing through, there's no good ending to this.
People with emotional problems don't think the whole thing through.
Well, that's got to be it. It's like, and then for some reason they just think, hey, here's a good idea. This will make my, and if you're right about the custody thing, this will make my wife or my ex-wife very upset, and that'll be great.
And we'll
That's what
probably
we
end
can
up
do.
by spending time in jail. You know, easy trade-off.
So no on the on this one.
It's too far to go.
Okay. New York City has they continue to shut down scores of illegal recreational marijuana shops. Since Operation Padlock began in early May, a multi-agency task force has closed 779.
Okay.
800 shops in New York City alone of illegal marijuana shops, seizing roughly $41 million of illegal products. Wow.
Well, I don't know what the state law in
Yeah.
New York may be with regard to recreational
It-
marijuana.
It's legal.
It's legal.
Yeah.
Then I
But
wonder
people
what
are popping up without getting a license to sell it.
Oh, all right.
That's what
Okay.
they're doing. And you, as the consumer,
You
No,
don't know.
are you going to check? You know,
No.
can I see your dealer's license? No, you're not going to do that. You just think, oh, no, they all have one. Okay.
I wonder what the standards are for acquiring a license. It's probably a filing fee.
Oh, I'm
and
sure
there
there
may
are.
be some kind
It's a
of
lot of money.
investigation regarding the
Yep. And you're going to give
the
your cut to the
propriety of the
state.
individuals
Oh, yeah,
who are
a lot of
running
money.
criminal activity or things like that.
According to the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, they've been selling dangerous, unregulated marijuana products to children and have been placed, and they've been places for criminal behavior. So, so yikes! But marijuana, like marijuana in New York, is like Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Recreational marijuana is okay. But you gotta buy it at the right shop.
Right.
So,
Okay.
all right.
And if they were selling to minors, they're not
Well,
checking
that's
identities.
Wrong. That's wrong too. Yeah.
And yeah, I've known from experience that checking identities on people going in to buy cigarettes is very important. Various police departments have sent in officers who have an appearance of being much younger and purchasing cigarettes, and
Yeah.
the seller doesn't question their age, and they can get into trouble.
You know, you can answer this question or not answer this question. It's up to you. Have you gone into a marijuana shop? Either one?
No. Oh, yeah, I have.
I have too. And the
'Cause,
first thing they ask you for is your ID. Before you get through the next door where all the product is.
Right. You're
If you
absolutely
want to get
right.
through the next door, ID first.
See, I've
Oh,
been to quite a
always.
few because, obviously I'm sales on
Yeah,
the road.
The advertising part. Yeah.
And I've been in quite a few, and you are
Yeah.
correct. It's not like you just walk in
Oh,
and you're
no.
in. You have to be cleared
And
to
basically
go in.
buzzed in to get to the next room
Yep.
where the
Yep.
products
Every
are.
one I've been in has
So
been that.
That's how I know this is a legitimate
Yep.
place. They are really on the ball, checking things. So there you go. Just in case you were wondering, Bob. Inquiring minds want to know.
I am
Yeah.
probably the only person you're ever going to meet who has never knowingly smoked marijuana. Not deliberately, just because my age and where marijuana became popular. When I was in college, it wasn't even really popular. There weren't kids around smoking it. When my brother was the same age, who's 4 years younger than me, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
But I never had the opportunity back then, and it hasn't arisen since.
All right. Well, we're going to run now. We're a little over time here in the program, but we thank you for listening. Bob Lauder, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I hope to be with you next week.
All right. And Sue Tesser McKenzie, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, and have a great rest of the week.
All right. I'm Joe Callahan. Enjoy the rest of the day here. And stay tuned for Gary Smith of the crew. Do remember it's coming up at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A 34-year-old Woonsocket resident was sentenced this week to facing 8 years in federal prison, followed by 4 years of supervised release. U.S. Attorney Zachary Cunha says Gregory Ortega pleaded guilty last May to conspiracy to distribute